in listen-only mode.
Greetings everyone and welcome to the Mobile IT Community of Interest monthly meeting for March. Thank you very much for joining us today. Before we get started, I'd like to review how to use the GoToWebinar system in order to optimize your experience today. Briefly explain how you can interact during these community monthly meetings using the GoToWebinar system. You've all been put on default mute settings due to lots of participants on the call. However, you can get the audio over the telephone or the speakers of your computer to improve sound quality if required. The panel is set to hide automatically. Please use the orange arrow to show or hide the control panel at your own will. You can change this setting on the view menu at the top of the panel. You are encouraged to please forward any questions that come up during the presentation using the questions tab. Your questions will be read after the featured presentation and we will identify who is asking the questions in order to foster greater participation and interaction between the attendees. If you'd like to remain anonymous, just say so. We will also have some live poll questions as well, which you're able to answer from the choices provided. And finally, at the end of the meeting, we will have a follow-up survey. Please, if you will, respond to these questions so that we can incorporate your feedback and add some further value to the community work. Thank you, and we will now start the presentation. I'm Stuart Young. I represent Fiatech in Europe and the Middle East. On behalf of all of us at Fiatech and COMIT, I'd like to thank you for joining us today at the Mobile IT Community of Interest monthly meeting for March. Today's presenter is Shanaya Averill from Dow. Shanaya will talk about the field rugged mobile IT and the process of analysing and selecting such technology within the Dow Chemical Company. Before we get started on the presentation, I'd like to take a minute to introduce Fiatech and COMIT and this community of interest to those who are not familiar or members of either Fiatech or COMIT, and those who are new participants in the community. Fiatech is a member-based organisation with an objective of improving the productivity of the capital projects industry through the deployment and implementation of technology. There are nearly 100 member organisations, partners, including academia and subject matter experts and other companies. We always welcome new members to participate in all our activities. Our goal is to improve productivity in the capital project sector through the adequate leadership in global development and adoption of innovation and practice. We strive to accomplish this by enabling our participants to advance industry. If you're interested in joining or would like more information, please drop me a line at young@fiatech.org. So the state of mobility in construction, I get asked this question a lot. In Fiatech, we strive to solve practical problems and the challenges associated to implementing mobile technologies of a practical nature. Regarding mobility in particular, contractors in the industry have observed improved project performance in collaboration, productivity and cost-given increments in information mobility. Despite these benefits, construction firms continue to struggle when investing in information technology. We understand that it is not an issue exclusive to contractors, and the whole industry needs to come together to realise the potentials of productivity improvement through information mobility. Thus, at the core of Fiatech's interest, we have created this mobile IT community of interest. The objective of the community is to showcase the mobility solutions that will be adopted in the capital projects industry. We strive to achieve this goal by presenting the latest cases of mobile IT adoption and also by allowing the breadth of the community participants to expose their own perspective on these technology applications. We have been delivering use cases and industry perspectives through various channels, including these monthly meetings, both virtually and live. Out of that, documentation reports from the gatherings have also been shared and created further projects within Fiatech. The community is a joint effort between Fiatech and COMIT. COMIT is a UK-based organisation Its principal aim is to learn from experience and deliver measurable business benefits in terms of adoption of mobile technologies. As such, this partnership supports the work and objectives of the community. The community of interest is now just over a year old. Throughout the last 12 months, we have had more than 1,160 participants from 380 organisations located in 40 countries around the world. Mainly these participants are located in North America and Europe, and as we continue to expand in the Middle and Far East, we're also gathering people in South America and beyond. We are very glad with the industry response so far, and we are working continuously to meet the needs of our participants. Now, after my introduction, we'll move on to the main presentation. Shanaya will present Dow Chemical's approach to analyse and select field rugged mobile IT. Introducing Shanaya, Shanaya is a graduate of the University of Texas, Austin. She holds a BS in Chemical Engineering, has worked for the Dow Chemical Company for 16 years in Freeport, Texas. In that time, she has held roles as a process engineer, improvement engineer, run plant engineer, Six Sigma engineer, subject matter expert, global construction IT manager. The list is endless, and she is currently the engineer in information management for tools and operations in Dow. In her current role, she leads an organisation that is responsible for providing best-in-class tools, training, support, and expertise for Dow Chemical's design, engineering, and construction group globally. She's also involved in setting the direction for field mobile IT for Dow. Shanaya has also been involved in the mobile IT community of interest since its inception and has helped tremendously steer and guide this organisation, or this concept, to deliver real business benefits to the members and organisations outside of membership. Shanaya, I will now pass to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart, and good morning, everyone. Okay, give me just a second while I share my screen. And Stuart, if you will, let me know when you can see my PowerPoint presentation.
I can see it now.
Okay, I'm waiting for it to go in, there we go, slideshow mode. Okay. So, thank you for that introduction, Stuart. And so as Stuart mentioned, I was the Global Construction Product Manager for our EIMT group, Engineering Information Management and Tools. And I'm in the process of transitioning out of this role and handing the reins over to Nick Munoz, who's taking over for me. So the EIMT construction team is responsible for choosing all of the hardware and software for our construction group globally. We watch how the construction personnel do their jobs, and then we find ways to help them do it smarter, faster, and more efficiently using IT. In January 2014, I presented on Dow's mobile IT efforts that we had been doing, and basically I'm here today to give you an update on the progress that we've made since then. So I'm going to talk about rugged mobile IT for people who work in the field, and in our case here at Dow, it's chemical plants. But what we've implemented can easily be leveraged to other job sites and other companies as well. So I'll start by talking about our rugged tablets and then enterprise smartphones, mobile kiosks, and field cameras. And then I'll touch on a project that we're working on that we call Construction Next, and RFID and our long-term vision. So I'll start off by talking about our mobile computer implementation that happened about 4 years ago, just to give you some background. So here's a picture to help you see the tough book's going to be on the left, and then the tough pad is going to be on the right as I refer and go through the presentation. The picture on the left shows our current unit, and the picture on the right shows the unit that we are currently working towards implementing. Both devices are fully rugged and highly customizable, and both are Class 1 Div 2 as well. And the toughpad may appear to just be a tablet, but it's actually a full-fledged PC capable of running Windows 7 or Windows 8. So this information is going to help give you a little bit of background on what we were faced with and how we came to our current solutions. So the problem that we were faced with was our construction personnel were spending excessive time trying to find and access information they needed while they were in the field. Some of our sites are very spread out, which means there's just a lot of distance between the job site and the construction person's office. And they were constantly having to travel back and forth to get answers from their computers. In addition, we were often paying contractors to wait around while the construction personnel were traveling back and forth to their offices to get answers from their computers. And this was just creating a lot of wasted time and money. Our construction guys did have laptops in their offices, but they weren't rugged and they couldn't withstand the heat or cold temperatures. So, and in addition, the computers that they had could not be taken into hazardous areas inside a chemical plant. So we saw an opportunity to provide our construction personnel with a mobile computer and real-time connectivity while they were in the field. And we figured that if our construction personnel had all of their information with them in the field, we could eliminate a lot of wasted time and money. So in 2010, when we were researching rugged tablets for our construction managers and inspectors, the unit we selected was the Panasonic Toughbook CF19. It wasn't a perfect fit, but at the time it was the best solution out there on the market that fit all of our needs. Some of the key highlights about the computer are it's fully rugged, it's a convertible laptop, which means it can be used in laptop mode or actually in tablet mode. That screen swivels around, as you can see in the photo in the bottom right corner. It's intrinsically safe, as I've mentioned, and so it has a hazardous classification of UL 1604 Class 1 Div 2 for those of you who understand that language. They also make an ATEX model. It has real-time connectivity through an internal cellular Gobi chip, or you can use Wi-Fi when that's available as well. The screen can be easily viewed while you're outdoors. It has a camera on it, so you can take a picture, edit or annotate the photograph, and then email it all while you're standing right out in the field. It has video capability, so you can do something similar to Skype or FaceTime that a lot of people are familiar with. It has GPS. The computer replaces the standard Dow workstation for our construction workers. So it also has the same software image as the standard Dow workstation that our IS group issues. It's just packaged in a different hardware. So, and it was also fully supported by our Dow IS group from a software perspective and by Panasonic from a hardware perspective. So after our construction users had their Toughbook for about a year, we surveyed all of them to understand the time savings that they were getting. And many of them were saving several hours a week by being able to have their computer in the field with them. And some of our more tech-savvy users were saving more than 2 hours a day. So overall, we calculated a time savings of about $2.3 million a year for about 150 construction people. Our initial investment and our one-time cost was about $4,000 per person, and that included all the accessories they needed. There's numerous benefits that the construction we documented as part of the value case. A few examples of these benefits are less driving back and forth, more time spent in the field observing safety, which is very important to us, and no more paying contractors to wait on the construction managers to give them answers that they needed, and then less printing, which of course is more environmentally friendly. Those are just some of the key ones. So making this first move from an office computer to a field computer was a big change, a big culture change. There were a lot of components to be addressed, and we didn't necessarily have the resources to hold everyone's hand through this. But in addition, the rollout was global, and it was spread out to at least 15 different Dow sites. And during the last several years, many other groups at Dow saw our Toughbooks in the field, and they began wanting them too. And so our team has rolled out about 150 more Toughbooks to those other groups that wanted them. I think adoption has become easier for our construction group since more field workers at Dow are using them now. So now that our construction personnel and plant personnel have had about 4 years to get used to the concept of having mobile computers in our plants, it's become more of a norm rather than an anomaly to have a field mobile device. In 2014, we began researching the next generation of rugged tablets for our construction personnel, and the unit that we've selected is the Panasonic ToughPad. And as you can see, this tablet has almost the same characteristics as the previous Toughbook I referred to, but there's a few key differences that I'll highlight. So the most obvious one is the form factor. This particular one is a traditional slate tablet. It weighs half of what the ToughPad weighed. it weighs half of what the Tough Book weighed. So the Tough Book weighed about 5 pounds, and the Tough Pad weighs about 2.5 pounds. It has an integrated RFID reader. It's on the back side, so you can't see it. It runs Windows 7 or Windows 8, and it has a multi-touch screen. So our initial investment and one-time cost will be about $4,200 per person for this Tough Pad. We've already rolled out about 75 Tough Pads to groups outside of our construction group at this time. So there's many factors that we took into account before choosing this computer. Many people ask, why not an iPad or why not a Microsoft Surface Pro with the intrinsically safe cases made by the Fiatech-COMIT company. The operating system is the key driver for us to go with a Windows-based tablet. This allows us to avoid needing to spend money on app development and integration with Windows. In addition, if the tablet is Windows-based, it's capable of being their official Dow work computer, and it allows us to streamline the number of devices that we need to issue to them. And our construction users don't want numerous devices to learn and cart around. So these are some of the factors that went into our decision-making. So now that our construction personnel, hang on one second. Okay, so here's some additional images of the tablet. It's fully rugged, and it's Class 1 Div 2 certified. It can be used with a finger or a stylus, and the picture on the top right shows that it can be docked in your office and used with a flat screen monitor and an external mouse and keyboard. When you head out to the field, you can just grab it and go. It can also be used on the go like a mobile computer, shown in the picture on the bottom right. The picture in the middle shows you how thin it is, and if you hold it, you'll find that it's surprisingly light. As I mentioned, it's only 2.5 pounds. So hopefully you've been thinking about who are the people in your organization that could benefit from this sort of a computer in the field. And here's the thoughts that we came up with for our field workers. So someone who can be more productive by having their computer in the field with them, workers who need to hook up their instruments or equipment to a computer for field configuration, people who need to do real-time monitoring from the field. It can also be used to view procedures and specifications from the field. GPS location can be used for those who need to find a location or document exact satellite coordinates. Someone can conduct audits or write permits from the field. Some businesses have purchased Tough Books where there's a permanent need to keep them in a warehouse, an MCC or lab or some other dirty environment. And then if you wanted someone to view 3D models, P&IDs, or some other type of drawings from the field, they could do this as well. So let's move on now to another hardware opportunity we've taken advantage of. So at Dow, our construction personnel spend a lot of time away from their offices. And although they were benefiting from the Tough Books that we implemented, there was still a desire to have a faster and more portable access to their email and calendar since it's used so frequently. So back in 2012, our corporate IT department only supported Apple and BlackBerry devices. So we chose the Apple iPhone 4. And when the cost dropped to 99 cents in September 2012, it was a perfect selling point to our leadership. And the incremental data cost for the data plans is only $13 a month because they already had existing cell phones. So we purchased OtterBox cases for each person's iPhone. The cases are rugged but not intrinsically safe or have any hazardous classification on them. So although they couldn't use the phones within the chemical plants, it still allowed them to be significantly more efficient and productive while they were in the field and on the go. So getting enterprise iPhones allowed them to access their Dow email, their calendar, their tasks, Dow's global address book, WebEx, instant messaging, intranet, SharePoint, and then, at the time, wireless hotspots came for free on the family plans. So based on a survey of 64 of the users, you can see that their time savings amounted to about $2.8 million per year. So great benefits. So as you all know, many other free iPhone apps exist that our construction personnel make use of, and I'm sure many of you make use of these as well. Another cell phone project underway at Dow is taking our cell phones globally and outsourcing management of them to a company called Mobi. This way, no one at our company is wasting time trying to understand what kind of cell phone to buy, which plan to get on, and what features they need. Mobi allows us to pool all of our voice and data across the company, and with our current cellular carriers, we're able to optimize each person's usage so there's minimal waste. Mobi provides us basically with one-stop shopping and troubleshooting for everything cell phone related. And the project is expected to save Dow upwards of $1.5 million a year. So big benefits there if people aren't taking advantage of that already. So as times are changing, you know, we need to change as well. So we're in the process of upgrading our iPhone 4 users, and we've expanded their service offering to now include a few select Android phones as well as the iPhones. A vast majority of our users did end up choosing the iPhone 6. We are currently evaluating these X-Seal cases that allow you to be able to take your phone into Class 1 Div 2 areas of chemical plants, and they're ATEX certified as well. We're working with our electrical EH&S folks, leadership as well as our users, to see if this is a viable solution. A lot goes into allowing mobile devices time on the EH&S side, making sure that we have thought of everything that needs to be thought of in order to be able to take these out into the plant safely. So the mobile kiosk is another concept that we've been exploring. So, you know, what if you could take a big screen monitor out into the field and have a project and a safety meeting around it? You know, if a craft worker had a question while they were in the field, we could just walk up to the kiosk and pull up the drawings, the 3D model or the project specifications to answer their questions quickly, accurately, and efficiently. Maybe we can even print something in color, or better yet, even in 3D if needed with 3D printing. What hardware do you need while you're at the job site to make the work most efficient? This mobile kiosk is very, very customizable. And there are several different kiosks in the marketplace today. You know, this just shows a picture of a couple of them. But it seems to me our industry isn't really making the best use of them, and I'm not really sure why. But at Dow, we've been piloting these two different kiosk styles over the last 6 months. And in addition, we've been looking into piloting kiosks with all the components that are Class 1 Div 2, so the kiosks can actually sit out in the chemical plant areas in these classified areas. And so far, these kiosks have had great value and have been very well liked by our field personnel. So here's an example of a kiosk that is currently being piloted in a general area, meaning not a hazardous area where it requires Class 1 Div 2, just a general area. The customized kiosk has a number of different components as the construction customer requested. We use a tough book or a tough pad as the computer to run the screen, the monitor, and all that in the kiosk. So in this case, our construction group has a fast-track project and is doing just-in-time engineering. So they're able to pull up the latest drawings and exchange information from the field with engineering in real time. Our maintenance and operations groups are also very interested in these kiosks. They are currently using them for vibration monitoring, turnarounds, and managing craft workers who have to wait in line for safe work permits. So yet another project that we are working on that's brought us great benefits are field cameras. So the problem that our construction personnel came to us with is that they need to take many pictures in the field during the construction phase, and it's very time-consuming to them to then download them and find ways to share them with all the necessary project people. Our construction personnel were very eager to find an improved solution for this to free up more of their time. The objective our team was charged with was to provide our construction personnel with an automated way for taking and downloading photographs of the job site at regular timed intervals on a daily basis. They also wanted a third-party hosted website that would allow those only those with permission to view the photos because of security. Security is a big concern with our photos. So the vendor we selected to host this solution for us is EarthCam. And here are some highlights of the solution that we chose. Past and present pictures are available anytime for anyone that has access. EarthCam has robust user management controls, and our security team concluded that it was low risk because it's got good infrastructure in place for that. Higher visibility of the job site and progress. So our engineers, our construction managers, and other project personnel can view the photos on a regular basis from their desk, just through a browser, or even from an app on their cell phone, instead of having to travel to the job site. And they can possibly even spot, potential safety issues or concerns with the project while they're away from the job site. So EarthCam has numerous customization options. They have a lot of flexibility and in a la carte service, and you can be as little or as involved as you want in their implementation. So this is just a quick glimpse at a few of the camera solutions they offer. These depict the good, better, and best solution, and they even have an industry-leading option of a gigapixel camera, which is 1,000 megapixels. Incredible clarity. At Dow, we just went with the 6 megapixel option. We were pretty impressed on how far in we could zoom and the level of detail that we could see, so we were able to go with the less expensive option and still got great results. So these pictures just give you an idea of how construction progress can be viewed. Leadership project teams can check out the photos, as we mentioned, and then you can take all of these still shots and put them together and make a time-lapse movie. And I'm going to attempt to share an example of a time-lapse movie that can be generated from the still shots. We generated a movie like this for one of our newest chemical plants, but we're of a chemical plant that we're building here in Freeport. But for security reasons, I'm not going to share that movie, but I'll share an example of a hotel being built that shows this same time-lapse functionality. And as you can see, this is just a subway station because I'm not able to share Dow's photos, but let's see if we can get this movie to work for us. So here's the standard hotel in New York. And this is just off of EarthCam's website, and you can see this is what the hotel looks like when it was completed. But as we go through the movie here, it'll show you the actual building of the hotel. And what they've done is they've just taken still shots, and in our case, we took a photo every 10 or 15 minutes, and then you can put all those photos together to make a movie. And EarthCam will even edit out for you the bad shots, or if it was a rainy day or nighttime shots, so that you have a movie in the end that is really nice and clear, and you can see the whole construction. So for us, the cost to put up the cameras and be able to capture these images and generate a movie was around $11,000. So let me go back to our presentation. Okay, so at Dow, this picture depicts kind of the 4 mobile hardware items we envision our construction workers to have available to them while they're in the field. So we think this is going to be the best solution to help set them up for success while they do their job. So we plan on conducting additional interviews and brainstorming sessions within Dow to ensure that we're always on the right track and addressing their needs. But the preliminary work shows that we're on track, and they're liking the hardware that we've been rolling out for them. So, and as we've been piloting and implementing these devices in our construction organization, numerous other groups at Dow have become very interested in the mobile IT that we've been rolling out, and we've been leveraging these devices to other groups, like the maintenance organization, operations, R&D in some cases has also been interested in numerous other organizations who do field work at Dow. So from a hardware perspective, you can see we have several innovative ideas in motion, but we're definitely lacking good construction software that aligns with our work process here at Dow. So we're working on developing a global SAP-based platform tool for construction that ideally has a single user-friendly portal for construction and encompasses Dow's work process. So this SAP platform will allow our construction group to integrate with Dow's other functions who are all utilizing the SAP platform already. So this project will also encompass integrating RFID and streamlining marshaling efforts as well. So in order to keep fresh, you know, I just wanted to share a little bit about how we at Dow work to keep ourselves engaged in mobile IT efforts going on in industry and continuous learning. So we attend Fiatech's annual technology conference and showcase, and we learn a lot there about what other people in industry are doing and what the latest and greatest technology is out there. We also actively participate in the mobile IT community of interest and learn what other companies are doing and new vendors that are available on the marketplace. And Panasonic has an annual thought leadership forum where they do a great job of providing general IT education sessions for their customers, as well as providing them with opportunities to for the customers themselves to network together. So we of course keep abreast of current IT news. And then within Dow, we are working on developing a Field Mobile Solutions Expertise Center, or something similar to that, so that we can more easily leverage field mobile IT expertise within Dow rather than each group doing their own individual thing and sort of reinventing the wheel repeatedly. So with this model, we can more easily leverage our configuration, our training, and our support resources within Dow, and also have a more streamlined approach to collaborating with our corporate IS group. So I just highlighted a few of our mobile IT efforts. I don't have time to go through everything that we're working on, but those are, I think, some of the key things that you guys will find most beneficial. So now I'll hand it back over to Stuart to go through some polling questions and wrap us up.
Thanks, Shanaya. That was super. Let me just pick this back up. Just give me a second. I'll just pull the right slide in. Okay, here we go. Okay, so as Shanaya mentioned there, we're now just going to run through some poll questions. The first question we've got here, I'll just bring this up on the screen, is how many devices does your field support? You can see that one. Is it none, 1, 2, 3 or more, or not applicable? We usually give it about 45 seconds for everybody to answer. Okay, we've got 56% of the people on the call who voted. Any more? I'll close that one now and I'll share the results. Okay, any comments or observations on that, Shanaya?
Well, I would say that's pretty consistent with what we do here at Dow. We have our field people carrying their phone and their tough pad. So I would 2 is the number that our guys carry, and looks like 40% of the people. Several people have 1 device, which I could see that as well if they're carrying a tablet or just a tablet or just a phone maybe. So pretty consistent. There's still a number of people that say other or not applicable, so a large percentage of people maybe still have opportunities.
Yeah.
And it looks like 3 or more people have, 5% have 3 or more. So some people have a lot of stuff to carry around, but
Absolutely.
a lot of opportunities there. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go on to the next one. Are all devices carried by your field supervisors rugged? Okay, that should be showing now. Yeah, what we've got coming in here so far we've got a similar vote, but we've got pretty much, it's dropped down a bit, mixture of rugged and not so. Yeah, interesting. And 5% are saying yes, they are rugged. Okay, that's done the usual time. Thank you for that. I'll share those results. So what are your thoughts on that, Shanaya?
Yep, I guess so. 40% say it's a mix. Some are rugged, some are not. And a lot of people do carry smartphones, right? And you can put them in a rugged case. So the device itself's not rugged, but the case kind of makes it rugged. So maybe that's what fits into that mixed category. And a lot of people say no. 30% say no.
Yeah.
So our construction guys here are kind of rough. So we generally always try to put something in a rugged case or give them something fully rugged.
Yeah.
So but it looks like a lot of people, 30%, a fair number of people are able to manage their devices, sounds like, if you're manage construction devices that are not rugged.
Yeah.
And that's a good sign.
Yeah.
25% of people maybe.
Yeah, that's pretty consistent with what I've seen as well. So anyway, thank you for that, everybody.
Yep.
I'll go on to the next question. Common software tools used in combination with smartphones. Okay, so we've got communication, phone, email, office, documents, spreadsheets, design, 2D plans and drawings, advanced design, 3D models and BIM, and schedule, Gantt charts, for example. Okay, so we'll just close that one out and share.
Yep, as I suspected, yeah, phone and email would be the definite highest one. I'm pretty impressed for the people who have design. There's 5% of the people say that they use it for design and advanced design, 3D models, and that's pretty impressive. It's definitely, you're able to do it, but smartphone screens are pretty small, so we have not attempted that here necessarily, but that's pretty good that people are working in that space and able to accomplish that.
Still a lot of opportunity.
Yep, just as I guessed, 89%. Yeah, still a lot of opportunity. 89% though with phone and email.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay, thanks everybody for voting on that one, and we've got one more question to go. This question has cropped up a number of times, but it basically it came up again this week, and it's pertinent to ask. And when we've done this poll question, I'll just show you something that was developed here to accommodate the common size. But let me share the question first. Okay. So it's equal or less than 4 inch, 4 inch to 7 inch, 7 inch to 11 inch, and more than 11 inch, or other are not applicable. Just let me launch this question. Okay, I've closed this one out. Share the results. Trust everybody can see that.
So less than, yes. So equal or less than 4 inch would be kind of indicative of people using, older phones, flip phones or the non-smartphones, I guess I'll call it. So we got about 14% of people still using the older type phones. And then 4 to 7 inches, your typical, maybe your typical smartphone right now. I know some of them are getting pretty big here, but it looks like 48% of the people have that typical smartphone usage. And then 7 to 11 inch is maybe more of the standard tablet. And I know there's a lot of variation in size these days, but it looks like maybe 25% of the people are using a lot of tablets in their organizations, which is great. 0% using more than 11 inch, and more than 11 inch would indicate something like those mobile field kiosks we showed, you know, a big flat screen monitor out in the field.
Yeah, relatively new,
looks like
a new concept which is gaining a pace. Yeah. Okay, thanks everybody.
And then 15% of the people say, 14% of the people say not applicable, so that looks like maybe people not using devices in their field at all.
Yeah. Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting.
Interesting. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for doing those poll questions. I'll now move on to the next slide. One of the things that cropped up, and it certainly came out in the UK, was yeah, okay, you've got these devices. How do you keep them safe? What do you do to stop dropping them and losing them and causing injuries and one thing or another? We looked at a number of options, and we even hired a seamstress to develop this. We got a standard high-vis jacket, and we had a reinforced area sewn onto the side pocket. We considered that the left breast area of the jacket was the safest and least likely to get damaged. So we commissioned somebody to develop this as a trial. And it went out and it was used on one of the members' projects, and it was used to good effect. So much so that people started asking for it. So this is out there and being used now, and it seems to be, I say, once people have got these devices, they tend to look after them. We found that, but one way you can sort of prevent dropping, losing, and causing injuries is to put the device away safely rather, and in an area where it remains protected, and it seems to be that particular area. Or you can change it to the other side if anybody's got a preference. But we found that ones that was in pockets, in trousers, whatever, tend to get broken screens, whatever. So yeah, we developed this about a year ago, and yeah, they are being used. So I thought I'd share that with. There was one particular attendee today had asked the question, so there you are. So yeah, moving on. I now want to go through the questions and answers. We've got a number of questions, so I'll just bring those up. Okay, Shanaya, we've got a question here. Does the Toughbook CF19 also have touchscreen facility?
Yes, that's an excellent question. So the Toughbooks that we rolled out 4 years ago were single touch. So you could only touch it with one finger at a time, or you could use the stylus. But the latest models of the CF19 are multi-touch, kind of like a smartphone screen or an iPad screen. So yes, the newest models of the Panasonic Toughbook CF19 are multi-touch.
Good, okay.
And you can also use a styler or a digitizer as well. And the Toughbooks are the same. You can use ToughPads, the Slate computers are the same. You can use a stylus, or they have multi-touch functionality as well.
Thank you. That question came in from Andre Formini. Thank you, Andre. Hope that's answered your question. Okay, the next question that comes in from Andre is what is ToughPad availability to view / edit BIM models in Revit or other software? Is the hardware strong enough? Shanaya?
Yes, I would say that we have not found anything. I'm not familiar with the details of what's required to run the BIM models in Revit, but we have not found anything that the ToughPad cannot run. I cannot think of the processor speed off the top of my head, but I think it's a Core i5, and you can double the size of the hard drive if you want to. So I think, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I want to say it's maybe 512 gigabytes. You can even, and the 8 gigabytes of RAM, and it's a 64-bit machine, so it's got quite a bit of computing power. We've not come across anything that it cannot run for us, and we run SmartPlant 3D as well. and we've been able to view PDF, 3D PDF models on the devices as well.
Fantastic, thank you, Shanaya. Okay, I've got another question here that came in from Suzanne Dengenis. I hope I've pronounced that correctly, Suzanne. Was cost of EarthCam $11 per camera per site?
It was $11,000. I wish it were $11 per camera. But it was, we put up 2 cameras per job site, and I want to say the cost in the end for us to make that, to be able to put up the hardware with the cameras, there's a monthly fee associated with having a camera, and then, the camera takes the pictures and moves them to their EarthCams. EarthCam was a third-party vendor that hosted those the pictures on their server. So there was a monthly cost associated with that and the cellular usage there. So for one camera, I would say it was $11,000 to have one camera put up, pay the monthly fee for a year, and be able to make a movie, a time-lapse movie.
Right.
And we put up 2 cameras per job site, but we just used one camera to make the movie from.
Okay. Thank you.
But it just depends how much coverage you want. Totally up to you. But we had a very large chemical plant, so we had 2 cameras.
Okay. Thank you, Shanaya. Next question we've got again from Andre. Do you have any experiences with real-time material equipment stroke workers monitoring at site?
Okay, repeat that question for me one more time.
Do you have any experiences with real-time material equipment workers monitoring on site?
Okay, so monitoring material, I guess monitoring material and equipment and personnel kind of falls into the category of RFID. And we do have some work that we have been to. We've got probably over 100 RFID projects at Dow. Those are not specifically in our construction area. We do have an RFID expertise center who runs a lot of our RFID projects. And they have done a lot of material tracking and equipment tracking using RFID technology. They track our ships that are shipping material. They track our rail cars. They monitor temperature, pressure, all that other kind of information with RFID and GPS. So they do have a lot of experience in that space. One of the areas where we are looking at implementing RFID is for construction laydown yards where you have, hundreds of thousands of pieces of equipment laying in a grid-style format, and you want to be able to have the right piece of equipment at the right moment when you're building that chemical plant. And finding that stuff in a timely manner is very important. So that's a project that we are looking to pilot here in the near future. As far as personnel tracking, we at the moment do not do personnel tracking of people while they're out on the job site. We have tracking systems that track people when they come in and out of the gate. So we can, it kind of gives you a timestamp of when they entered the Dow facility and when they left the Dow facility, and we use that for accountability and safety purposes is some of the main reasons why we use that. But we have been sort of dabbling and learning a little bit about personnel tracking, and we're definitely looking into construction laydown yards and piloting RFID on that as well. I hope that answers the question.
Sure. Thank you, Shanaya. Okay, next question we've got is from Michael Alianza. Great to see the efforts and advancements in mobile IT. Thank you. That's more of a commendation, I suppose. Next question we've got is again from Suzanne. Do you have any 4D scheduling tools for construction or maintenance operations? Shanaya?
Yes, that's another very interesting area that we have been looking into. I understand there are ways, so I mentioned that we use Smart Plant 3D here at Dow, and so we've been looking at ways to take the 3D model and then layer Primavera on top of it and have the scheduling piece of it so that it can then show you progress as you build, let's say as you build a chemical plant. So it would color code things accordingly. So Let's just say, for example, everything in green would be things that have already been installed, but you could see the whole model in red, but just the green stuff would show you your progress as you actually build it. So we've seen examples of it. We've looked into it. It's going to be part of our Construction Next software program that I talked about. We haven't gotten to the point where we're actually doing it at this time, but very interesting, and we definitely want to look into doing that in the future.
Okay, thank you, Shanaya. Next question we've got now is Jamil Ismail from IntelliWave. Can you comment more on what you have implemented using RFID? I think you've already mentioned that, actually. Asking about specific vendors. I think you've answered that already. You do have a department that deals specifically in RFID. Unless you want to add anything else to that, Shanaya.
I mean, at this time, yeah, we're still trying to find a particular plant to partner with us that has a large contingent of equipment that we want to pilot RFID on. So, yep, I'll leave it at that. Okay.
Jamil, if you want to get in touch separately on that, I'll be pleased to answer any further questions or elaborate on what Shanaya's already said. Okay, next question we've got is from Fred Moorcraft. At what level of supervision are the devices issued and used in the field? Shanaya?
Okay, so see, this is where we kind of struggled because, you know, for iPhones, Dow, you know, our Dow IS corporate group issues the iPhones, and they consider it a self-serve opportunity, which means basically you get your iPhone and you learn how to use it on your own, and there's stuff available on the website for you as you have questions or need help. Well, our construction users like a little more hand-holding than that, so we actually offer a 30-minute monthly iPhone class to help the construction users become more tech-savvy and learn to use their hardware better. If we're going to spend a lot of money issuing them expensive hardware that's fancy, we want them to learn how to use it better, and many of them don't do that naturally on their own. So we kind of hold hands a little bit and offer some training and education sessions for those who want it. We have a number of users who are fantastic and can, you know, do all kinds of things on their iPhone. So that's the iPhone situation. With the rugged tablets, we do need to do more work in this area of more education. When the rugged tablets are first rolled out, we offer them like a half-day hands-on training class that we try to do in person so that they can learn how their new hardware works. And following that, we try to have monthly meetings with them where they are having monthly meetings and we attend their meetings, and we try to have like a 15-minute topic where we're teaching them something new about IT that they didn't already know that helps them potentially use their rugged tablets better. But I would like to do more work in this area because if we want them to get the most out of their devices, they do need some more assistance there.
Okay.
But it's,
sorry, go on.
I think that answers the question of, well, sorry, I was thinking they asked of level of supervision, but we, you know, that's kind of how we offer training and help them get used to their devices. But as far as supervision of the devices, when we rolled them out, we explained to them, you know, this is what your device is for, this is what your device is not for. Please use your device appropriately. If you are not using it appropriately, it will be taken away, essentially. But we don't do a huge amount of monitoring or micromanaging of their devices. We just, you know, we have a database, we track who has the device, and we expect them to use them properly. So hopefully that answers the question.
Sure, thank you. Okay, then the next question I can answer. This is from Don Gillican from Siemens. Yes, Don, the presentation will be posted on the Fiatech website, as with all the others. We will be making the link, and you can probably see in the next few slides the link where it will actually be held. It's also on the invitation that you'll have received, that the link is in the invitation as well. So, okay, now we've got another question that's coming from Michael. Are you taking the time-lapse cameras and overlapping and syncing them with the actual 3D, 4D models? Is the gigapixel camera a consideration for true 4D syncing?
Well, that's an interesting question. No, we are not doing that. We have not considered doing that. And I am trying to think of what the value or benefit would be. I think it'd be a really neat experience, but at this time, no, we've not considered it.
No, okay. I've got something I might add to that, actually. There's a project that has just been given approval in Fiatech, which is called Mars Rover. I'll suggest that you look out for that, because that could fit right into this particular area. Please do look out for it on the Fiatech website. It will be posted very soon, and it might answer this question. But please do get in touch, and I can discuss this further with you. Okay, one last question I've got here. This comes in again from Fred. To clarify, so who gets the devices in the organisation? Just recap, Shanaya, what you said. What level of devices? I think I've had this question posed to me a number of times. Do the engineers get it? Do the foremen get it? Do the supervisors get it? Who actually gets it? Is it from senior execs down, or where? Just indicate again briefly.
Okay, sure. So field workers are essentially the people who get the devices. So in our organization, the inspector specialists, so they're in the construction group, and they're the ones that go out and inspect the work that the craft people have done. So there's a lot of checklists and a lot of documentation that they do in the field while they're inspecting the work. So they are one of the candidates that get the rugged tablets. The other one is the construction manager, and they are people who out in the field. They are typically engineers. Many of the construction managers are engineers, not all of them are. And then we have people in operations, operators who run chemical plants. A lot of them have shared devices that they rotate throughout their groups as they're on shift. Maintenance engineers often have the devices as well. So in the maintenance organization, our analytical people often have them. People who are running turnarounds often have them. So people who are doing field work are typically the people who are candidates for rugged tablets. And they do have to show us a value case or give us examples of what they're going to be utilizing these for. We don't issue them to people who basically have an office job or a desk job or an executive. None of those people have them. Okay,
thank you. Well, we've no more questions in there, so I'll close up the question panel now. Thank you very much, Shanaya, for answering those questions. I'll move on to the next slide. Next month's community meeting will not take place on the virtual position. We are instead meeting during the Fiatech Technology Conference and Showcase in Boca Raton, Florida. That'll take place on Monday the 13th of April, and in that we will have a panel discussion on mobile strategies and a number of other interesting areas. We know that several of the attendees here today, and certainly attendees of the past, have already registered, and some of those are actually going to sit on the panel. So for everybody that's not familiar with it, I would suggest don't miss out on the opportunity. Come and interact with the community in person and learn about what the rest of the industry is doing in their own areas. If you do register for the conference, you are interested in coming along, one of the things I would say is register to get onto the mobile IT community as well. It is a separate registration. But I'm sure it will be a very interesting discussion, a panel discussion. We've had some in the past, and they've captured a lot of good information that we've carried forwards, and have been a benefit to the members and beyond. We will continue to hold the community monthly meetings on the third Wednesday of each month after the unique event, and our next one will be on Wednesday, May the 20th at 9 AM US Central. Okay, and just to continue the conversation, these are all the links. I did mention that the recorded presentations are held on YouTube. Please go and follow that link. They are up there. We will have this one there shortly. So thank you very much for everybody coming on. Thanks very much to Shanaya. Thanks to Fernando for facilitating the presentation today. I would encourage you to join the community through LinkedIn and follow up on all the other announcements. Please do look up Fiatech-COMIT on Twitter and Facebook. And also, I will mention as well, the very last item there is the follow-up survey. You can give us feedback about the community deliverables, the session you've heard today, past sessions. Any more questions you've got, please fire them directly to me. And all I will say now is thank you very much. We're just on time, and we'll see you all next time or at the conference. Thank you very much. Bye for now.